Hello artists, it's Mrs. Warfel, and today I thought we'd do a painting inspired by Paul Cezanne's Green Apples from 1872. And you can see here what we would call a monochromatic, mono meaning one, chromatic or chroma being colors, so a one color scheme. Now there's more than one color, but you can see primarily the focus here color-wise is, or the emphasis is green. We will use oil pastels. Well, I will use oil pastels. You may use crayon if you like. And rather than do the entire painting, I would like to focus on a detail. So let me show you the detail. And let's turn that one off. Here you can see we're going to zoom in on the simplest of the apples in the group. And you can see a little more closely the colors that we're talking about. So green primarily, but notice the light, the medium, the dark, the yellowness of some parts of that green, and the grays, whites, and blacks that create and support those colors, and the pop, the fire of that orange color, just to really make the picture sing. If you can imagine the picture without that orange, it might be a little boring, right? So, all right, so let's map in the medium green or the lighter green, see what we get. So that apple is almost a perfect circle. Keep your mapping light so that it doesn't it can be layered over the top. One of the reasons I love oil pastels is you can keep blending. And if you want to change something, it is easy to change. So we have pretty much a circle shape, maybe a little flattened out here. We're looking over the apple, over the top of the apple. Let's see. Well, I think that's pretty good. Let's start layering in some colors. Notice there's some on purpose or intentional shaping of the marks to create the form of this apple. So your mark making helps, or it can hinder the appearance of roundness. So look at how these come back and point to the center stem. I can map the stem in here as well. So that's sort of about to there. And usually I don't start putting too many dark colors in yet. I want to protect the light first. So let's put in a nice patch, a highlight of our lightest white. We see that coming in down here. Now layering is important in oil pastel work. See a little pop of white here. So we will be blending and mixing colors as we go. Let's pull up this nice yellow color. And yellow, boy, it already seems like a light kind of green color. And come in this way. And keep going around like this. And one thing you might notice that the side that points closest to the light is usually a warmer color. When we talk about warm and cool on the color wheel, we're talking about warm and cool. So if you look at this side of the apple, it's actually a little bluer. In fact, I might take and put a little bit of blue down here, just a little bit, and then come in with maybe a little bit of gray. Maybe that's a little light, but we'll see what happens. And let's layer our dark on top. Now our oil pastels are different material than what Paul Cezanne used for his picture. We do not have the same paints that he had to work with. So we will have to do the best we can to suggest or replicate, but our picture will never really exactly match Paul Cezanne's. Look at a little bit of light right here, reflecting where this curves back, and look at how that's blending together. Let's take some yellow. Oh, that is my yellow, and kind of carve that up and around here. Good. And our darkest green, let's bring that into the side. We might need, you can see that's not as dark as the reference, so we will be mixing some other colors. When you mix, let's see if I can show it here, tints and shades. When you mix, here we go, when you mix black into a color, you get what's called a shade. When you mix white into the color, you get a tint. So we are going to use white to help us mix with the green here. Let's keep that variety of colors. There we go. Now don't lose your white, all right? Keep it, be very gentle when you bring some green over the top. We don't want that white to go away. So we are going to mix some of this green into this yellow. I'm using about the medium green and blending it with those other colors that are there. Go around the stem like that. And we're really using the tool to blend the paint. Now, if we were using liquid paints, we might use a paintbrush to do that blending. But with oil pastel, you can just use the tool itself. Light colors blend beautifully over darker colors. Here's some lightness, so let's bring that light right here. Not as light as this one. Let's mix those together and curve around the form, creating 3 dimensions. So we've got some tints with the mixing of the lighter colors with our greens, and let's see if we can create some shades. So here comes the black. Now be easy, don't overdo it. Go gentle first. Let's get the shadow coming in. It goes from, about 3 o'clock, if this was a clock. Goes from about there, dents in a little bit, and then comes to around 6 o'clock, and maybe just a little bit past, maybe to 7. And then let's carry the shadow over this way. And we're going to layer some other colors into the shadows here too, like that. And a little bit up here. And now gentle, gentle to make these tints and shades. Shading gently. Don't overdo that black. And come up and around here. And let's carve out the top of the apple. A little bit of a lining. Come in with some gray. Ooh, that gray is very light compared to my reference, so I'm going to need to do some mixing up there. And again, I don't have the same colors as Paul Cezanne had, so I'll just be blending and mixing and actually making up my own colors. Now, if I use too much green out in the background here, I'm going to lose some differencing between the apple and the background. So just a little bit, and then mix the gray in there. So we're going to carve out the background and allow the apple to show. And there we go. Got a little shadow coming in from here, from my hand, but I think you can still see it. And let's start to make that apple show up. Right up to the form. I'm going to mix this gray in with the black. Come around the bottom. I see plenty of green in here, so let's get that green, medium green, into this background here. Again, a little different than what the reference had. There we go. Let's get the gray mixing in with that. And we want that to go a little darker, so let's take that little bit of, now it looks a little scribbly right now, right? But remember I said the tool can do the blending for us. So we'll actually just stir that black in with the gray. All right, so coming across here, we see lots of green, maybe in the medium. Let's take that and suggest the beautiful colors that are at the bottom here. I see a little bit of yellowy green here and here. Let's sketch those in. Remember, we're leaving this apple off, so let's create our own color up here. Let's make this lighter. The lightness next to the dark side of the apple will be beautiful together. There we go. And come in with the gray. We did see that little pop of pink in there. If you want to bring some pink right over the top. Be curious to see what that looks like, just to make that glow a little bit more. All right, we see a shadow next to the stem. Let's fill that stem in. Now, how do we keep that stem from becoming merged with the shadow? Well, it looks like it's lighter, so keep that light. Bring in a little bit, a gentle amount of gray to lighten it up. We don't want to overdo it. There we go. That's good. Go in with medium green. Now, you and I are going to see different things here, so you may not, you may have a different looking apple than mine. That's fine. All right, you can see my apple was a little big there, so I'm going to carve it in on this side. You can use your oil pastels to basically erase where you want to change the shape of your apple. So I'm getting a little bit closer there, and going to feather that out into the background like that. I'm using the gray tool again, like that. And we're coming around here. There we go. And the nice thing about oil pastels is you can keep layering them, so you can start to shift and adjust. What colors do I have here? The dark green. Dark greens are happening in here, pointing back toward that stem. And this way, it's sort of a medium green, but I'm going to put dark underneath first, then I'll layer the green, the medium green on top to blend it. And the nice thing is you don't have to be perfect, right? It's looking pretty good, even though it's not an exact match to the Cezanne. All right, let's get a shadow for the stem end of this apple. Let's create that shadow, like strengthen it a little bit. And what could I use here? Maybe we've got the light green coming across this way. Let's use some medium green to strengthen. Do you think a little yellow maybe? There's another color in your toolkit called yellow ochre, and I might bring that in. That's kind of a warm yellow. There we go, if you have that color. There we go. And a little gray to the side of the apple, right there, lightening that up, which makes this look darker. And let's get a little blending here. Yellowy green. Now, you do your apple your way. Don't stress if it looks different than mine. This is just how I do it, or how I am doing it. If you saw me on another day, I might do it differently. I want a little more green color in here near the shadow. And remember we said that we would pop some orange in there. I see this kind of dark color right there. Little shadow. Now that looks like a mistake right now, right? Because it's a little too strong. So let's layer another color on top and spread that out. Gives a little shadowiness to that. And highlight above it. Maybe there's a gentle dent right there in the apple. So you're just going back and forth, making changes, making something lighter and darker. You can add more color into the background here. I'm doing a light addition of black and maybe some other colors in my background. I'd like to get that background to feel gray-green. So I'll take the green colors and mix it in. And the longer you spend with your tool kind of blending, the more painterly it will look. All right, so I'm going to let you guys finish this on your own, but this is a good start to a painting. Let's pop that strong color in, make this exciting. We see a nice chunk of orange right there, and a beautiful curve of orange here, and lightly stroke the orange over the top right there. And that's a good start to Cezanne's green apple. Keep making adjustments, make it your way, and I can't wait to see if you share with me your pieces, and I hope you have a great day. Be well.